69.
Okay, got it.
And I decided that what I wanted to do, more than anything else, was to make this 2016 set as affordable as is humanly possible. And I did that, okay, by putting these in here at $199.
Oh my goodness.
I actually have not many more of these than I have of the 70s.
Really?
Okay.
Right, because you said the grading even at 69
the grading even
tough.
at 69 is difficult. But if you want a 2016 complete set, we've already sold 16 of these. Okay.
Because you guys go online.
Because you always go online. That's right. And you're going, okay, you know, at $9.99, I get that. You know, not everybody can fit that into their coin budget. But I can tell you right now, virtually everybody can fit $199 into their coin budget. And if you can, you need to. Okay, if you can, you need to. These 2016s are special, special, special coins, folks. And particularly in the 3-coin set that you see right here.
And if you collect these, I should keep these 3 together. Wouldn't that be the best combo?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like don't separate them out.
You have to keep them together because this is the special complete Mint State set, the very first complete Mint State set ever put together by the United States government. The first time I've sold any of the 2016s. I've sold none of these individually. I've sold none of these individually. The West Points, of course, we did in 2016. But these coins, once again, so they're functionally rare. Remember, I just sold the 2015 P in Mint State 69 for $5.99. These coins are both functionally rarer than that coin. There are fewer of these coins that have been discovered right now as we speak than that coin. Do you understand that? There's fewer of these, let me reiterate, fewer of these than there is of the $599 coin each. So if you look at these, and we've sold this coin for, in Mint State 69, we sold this for $69.95, $59.95. So you're basically $69 a piece, not even.
Right.
$65 a piece across the board. So you have a regular priced American Mint State 69 Silver Eagle that is functionally one of the rarest Silver Eagles ever made by the United States government. Now, we show a minute here. We may lengthen that a little bit. We've sold 50 sets. We have hundreds of people on the phone. So what it comes down to is this. See, I knew I wanted to do this for this, and it's a big reason. It's very important. Not everybody, and I know, you think sometimes because of some of the coins I bring in that we cater exclusively to really, high-end collectors. We sell a lot of things for $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. But folks, this is for every coin collector, even if you're a novice. Understand, you have 3 ounces of silver here. You have 2016 American Silver Eagles. The first time that you have a complete set. These still follow the same rules for having to find them out of the original box. All of these things are exactly the same in terms of the rules of the road, if you will, okay? So in other words, these still had to come out of these boxes with the serial numbers that have been guaranteed, that have been doing all that stuff. And I understand the Mint State 70 might not be for everybody, although we just sold over half our quantity just like that. These could well sell out right here. Like I said, I know the clock ran out, but we're going to give you some extra time. I mean, these are going crazy.
Well, and I want to point out, too, because you might have seen the last couple coins and saying, I want to get in, but please notice our FlexPay. That's what we do on my end. He's responsible for getting all these cool coins in and discovering them and finding them and weeding them out and doing his truffle pig imitation. But what I love about our FlexPay is that's where all the rest of us can come in and enjoy the collecting, enjoy that find, enjoy that little treasure hunt. Because with FlexPay, you use any major credit card, and in this case, we'll spread your payments out over 4 months. What also makes this extremely rare is, if you want to return it, we give you all your money back. That will never happen if you're dealing with a dealer down the street. They will never give you all your money back if you just happen not to like them or you want to return them. So I think that's another significant point about buying coins from us.
They were just asking me, no, it's not $199 a piece. I know I'm just making the point.
Oh, no, you get all 3.
Yeah, it's all 3 for $199, okay. Because the lines, you need to get in. These are going to, I only had about 500 of these sets. Right. Because when I say these coins are rare, I don't say that kind of just for no reason. Yes. Okay? I say they're rare because they're actually rare. Because while I had 500 of these, understand, I've been looking for these, like I said, like a truffle pig, looking for truffles. I've been looking for these for a month. This is the first quantity of these of any kind that I have been able to find. Okay, the Mint State 70 is in and of itself is just absolutely a spectacular opportunity.
Which we have it available.
Which we still have a few available.
Not a lot.
But if you just want the 2016, the very first time the United States Mint, and once again, functionally, these two coins right here are rarer than the 2015 P mints that I sell for $5.99 a piece. So this should be $1,200, this should be $1,300. It's $199. So what I'm doing is I'm giving everybody an opportunity to be able to own rarity in the American Silver Eagles at a level that they've really never been able to do.
It's unprecedented,
really.
And that's why I really focus on the 4 flex, because that allows all the rest of us to jump into the fun and get something truly that's very rare and very unique and very unusual. So use that flex payment. It's just a major credit card. Also, I do want to give a quick update on the set we just did, Mike, the 3-piece set that we just had that was $9.99.
Right.
How many of those sets do we have left now, Adam? It's got to be, what, 25? We have about 25 sets left of the other set, the 70.
Now, if we can show this, please. I'm going to stay here till we sell these out. We have 276 sold. Okay? I have 250 left. Right. I have more than 250 people on the phone, okay? But they might not all be buying this. So what I'm trying to tell you is there's a chance. Okay? Have you ever seen it? So what you're saying is there's a chance. Okay. What I'm saying here is there's still a chance. And we had to flip over very quickly there to the left quantity. Because you now have, because we've got to go here in 1 minute, one way or the other, okay? Right. Is ultimately what it comes down to.
They're going to sell out before the hours.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. So as you watch that left counter go down, let me spend the last 45 seconds. So these are the coins the United States government tried to hide from you. An intrepid numismatic investigative journalist has unearthed these treasures for you, and for the very first time, I have the opportunity to sell the 2016 set.
Crazy.
Okay, it is the very first time I can sell the 2016 set. Folks, thank you. You're taking advantage of this. It's so great when I'm able to bring something in. And we were looking at this, and I said, you know, I go, look, I want to cut this to the bone. I want to get this to $199 because the price was looking like $249, even $279. I said, look, I want to give everybody an opportunity to own the first complete mint set of American Silver Eagles ever made by the United States government, and that's exactly what you've got here.
And understand, too, the Silver Eagles are the #1 most collected bullion in the entire world. Mike, you didn't even talk about that.
Right.
This is the most collected bullion in the entire world, and this is a first, and it was something that was hidden, which is even crazier. It's like, if you just even said, hey, I've got these together, they're fabulous, they're great, you know, 69s, blah, 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 that would be awesome. But the fact they were hidden and now they've been discovered and put together is even more exciting. Stay right